exciting. Wow, that was fun. While it was thrilling for Jet fans yesterday, I'm not here to rain on the parade, BT, but not so fast. Like, it was a great win. Nice to finally beat the Eagles. I think too much is being made of that. Who cares all the time? But a great win for this Jets team. Defense looked great. I'm still not sold that they're a playoff team. Not even close, as a matter of fact. When you look at the landscape of the AFC, and the Jets can't move the football. I still am seeing the same things, even with a win, that I don't trust this team. I think they were good yesterday, obviously. Defense opportunistic, made the play when they had to late. I'm not seeing a playoff team.
Sal, I got on the air the day after the Rodgers injury with the Bills, and I implored people not to check out of the season. And I implored them not to check out of the season for a reason. And here we are. And I'll tell you what, as much, and I believed everything I said that day, and I certainly went to a visceral spot that I don't get to very often, certainly on the air, let alone in life. But I believed it all. I sold it short. I actually sold it short. The people who thought I was nuts talking about the playoffs then, I'm pushing this further. There is no reason why the Jets can't get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Groan all you want. Laugh all you want. The Jets got past the absolute toughest of circumstances and the most unforgiving part of anybody's schedule in the NFL. And they are unscathed, in addition to being unkillable. Let me tell you something right now. When the Jets reconvene,
right,
for that Giants game, which admittedly will be a little tougher than I thought. We'll get to the Giants in a minute. Yep. The New York Jets are about to rip off not 3 wins in a row that I thought they would, because I did not think they would win yesterday.
Right, you're right. You did sell them short.
I did. The Jets are about to rip off 4. And let me ask you this, if not beyond, because there's no reason they can't go up to Buffalo and win. If you don't think the Jets are a playoff team, if you think it's a little overreacting, a big win, I want you to tell me right now, honestly, Sal, who you think definitively in the AFC is better.
I don't think we have enough time for me to list all the teams.
Well, there's only 16, so let's hear them. Who's better?
I'm going to do it. It's
not the Bills.
It's a good thing we have. Yes, they are.
Really?
Yes, they are.
Jets beat them.
Dude, the Bills are better.
Jets beat them.
Here's an issue, and we'll get into the other teams. Good thing we have 4 hours here, and you mentioned it. We'll do the Giants in a second. You do realize that the Jets can't score touchdowns. The only touchdown they scored was because the Eagles allowed them to. I still see the same thing every week with this team. They get behind early. They kick field goals every game. It's the same script. Their quarterback doesn't throw for more than 200 yards. Oh, that's great. He doesn't throw interceptions. He doesn't throw touchdowns either. The Jets stink offensively, and I'm tired of it. They kick your kicker, Greg Zuerlein's the best offensive weapon they have, and yet you're talking Super Bowl, and I'm supposed to believe they're going to go to the playoffs? I mean, the Browns beat the Niners yesterday with a backup quarterback. Are they going on saying, hey, you know what, we're going to the Super Bowl? I mean,
I don't know what they're saying. I don't care what they're saying.
The Texans beat the Saints. Texans beat the Saints yesterday. Are they saying we're going to the playoffs in Super Bowl?
Listen, I don't know, and my guess is no. But those defenses and those fan base should be pumped up. Anytime you win a big game, everybody's going to be maybe a little over the top. But I don't think it's over the top. When the AFC is as muddled as it is, there are 4 teams that were 3-3. There's a bunch of teams who have 2 wins. The Jets undeniably got past the toughest part of the schedule. And by the way, talk about the Browns, these other teams that should feel good. Did they make Josh Allen look like a scrub? Did they make Mahomes look like a scrub? Did they make Jalen Hurts look like a scrub?
No, Jets defense.
Did those teams do that? Because the Jets did. I mean, I know. That I saw.
Oh, the Browns made Brock Purdy look like a scrub.
Okay.
Browns with the backup quarterback showed great defense.
Brock Purdy's not Josh Allen, Mahomes, or Jalen Hurts. It's not even close.
Oh, I mean, Brock Purdy's arguably the best quarterback.
You didn't even think he was a top 10 quarterback 2 weeks ago. You would tell me Daniel Jones was.
I don't.
So now Brock Purdy's on the level with Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Hurts?
I mean, name a team that stopped him this year. I don't love Brock Purdy, but you know what? The Browns defense shut him down after nobody else could. You look at BT, you look at the landscape of the AFC, and even if you could get into that argument, and there's a lot of teams that I would rank higher than the Jets, but look at the Jets themselves. All they do is kick field goals. You cannot get to the playoffs by kicking field goals. You actually have to score touchdowns, ones that the other team doesn't let you get. The Eagles shot themselves in the foot yesterday. The turnovers, look, and I'm going to give the Jets defense credit. They played a hell of a game.
Phenomenal.
But I mean, come on. They were lucky to win that game.
Lucky?
Yeah,
you can't say that's not fair.
Dude,
lucky?
What are you talking about?
Lucky?
Yes, they were
Come
lucky.
on, Sal.
They were 2 minutes to go in a game, if not for that pick.
First, lucky. Sauce Gardner didn't play.
Okay.
DJ Reed didn't play. Their other two best quarters didn't play. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 45 times and still didn't amass 300 yards. 45 attempts.
I mean, they basically made it a three-quarter game because the Eagles' first-quarter drive took the entire first quarter away.
Yeah, sure, I got you.
And that vaunted
And I think the Jets were screwed there.
By the way, they did the exact thing that you said they can't do again.
What?
Get behind. It's the same script. Every game is the same thing. Defense out of the gate allows an opening drive touchdown. Jets going 3 and out. Jets kicking field goals. It's the same script. The difference was the defense caused 4 turnovers. And you can't minimize that, but I do think that was part of the Eagles being sloppy. I mean, and by the way, I'm happy they won. I'm happy for the fans out there yesterday. I hate Philadelphia. It's a great win. I'm glad Spike has to wear the UNKILLABLE shirt today. Like, I'm happy with it, but I'm not seeing a good football team.
Not seeing a good football team, dude. If the refs didn't screw them, they would have beaten the Chiefs. And I understand that. Listen, after a while, you can't cash that at the bank. I get that. Giant fans, and again, we'll get to you in a bit. Giant fans waking up there saying, we got screwed by the refs. You did. But that doesn't give you win number 2. It keeps you stuck on win number 1. It sucks. It's the absolute most painful part of being an NFL fan when you sit there and you commit 3+ hours and your team gets hosed. But it happens. And I think you've got to incorporate that. Look at the teams the New York Jets have played to start the season. There hasn't been an easy outside of Denver. Even that was on the road, and you got to deal with the altitude. There's not a layup on the schedule till now. Now, again, I'm not taking things for granted. There is nobody that's telling me these Jets aren't going to the playoffs. And I get it. Listen, it's not my fault that football society is a half a step behind me. Back on September, whatever, I'm saying playoffs. Now on October 16th, I'm saying one of the best teams in the AFC. And I swear to God, I honestly believe that, and here's why. Here's the transformation the Jets have made. I get it. Jack's got to do more. I'm going to grant you that you got to score some touchdowns. Right. I'm with you on that.
But you think he's going to?
Well, I do. I think he's going to eventually do that. But you know what? Here's the bottom line. The Jets went from the Jets have yet to transition to winning because of the quarterback, but they have stopped losing because of the quarterback. And with this defense, let's go. And the defense, it is, Jet fans, it is on. It is on.
Yes.
It is go time, like I told you a month and a half ago. Go time.
Hey, all kidding aside, and obviously, look, this is how I believe. Like, I don't think the Jets are a playoff team, but they have done a great job to get to 3-3, losing their starting quarterback. You mentioned the schedule, going into the bye week. This is a tremendous spot to be in. But the season is still, it's still right there where it could go the wrong way real quick. If they come back out of the bye and lose to the Giants, we'll get to the Giants in a second here. If they lose to the Giants or lose one of those games that you thought they were going to win, by the way, the Raiders with another win. Like,
I'm not impressed by the Raiders. They barely scored 20-plus points.
By anybody but the Jets,
because I'm not.
Touchdowns. They kick field goals left and right. You're impressed by that?
I'm impressed by the Jets' defense. Meaning, listen, I get taking nothing for granted. You tell me that the Raiders are going to rack up 30 points when the Jets abused Allen Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Not happening.
You're talking about
it's not happening.
You're talking about the 3-3 Jets. In your words, not only playoffs, you go to the Super Bowl. Well, Vegas is 3-3.
Yep.
You got the Colts and the Texans at 3-3.
But who do you think is better? You know football. You watch it. I understand you not being as enthusiastic as me. I want to know. And I need the answer. Who is definitively better than the Jets?
Miami?
And you can't say the Bills because the Jets just beat them.
The Bills.
But you can't say that.
The Bills, first of all, they have a better record. Second of all, come on.
They almost lost to the Giants last night.
Come on, I understand that. Still, they're still better. They score touchdowns.
All right, I'll give you the Bills. I don't agree.
I hope so.
Bills. But I really don't. I just want to hear the rest of the Bills.
After we do this, we'll get into the Giants.
Who else? Bills.
Bills, Miami, clearly better.
Okay, go ahead. Bills, Miami, who else?
Baltimore, Cincinnati.
I mean, hold on. Let me just write it down. Ravens, Cincy. Who else you got? Chiefs?
Okay, Bills,
Miami, Ravens, Cincy, KC. That's 5.
Jacksonville.
Okay, that's 6.
Definitively better.
Okay,
and then, you're now, the Jets are in that mix with the Steelers, the Browns.
Yep.
Now, I think they're better than the Texans and the Colts.
Texans, seems like that. Okay.
Raiders.
Okay.
Chargers will be another one in there.
They're playing tonight. Big one.
I got you. You need the Cowboys to win tonight.
Yeah, I do.
We did say Ravens, yes. So I think that they're in that next level along with those other teams. Come on. I mean, that's fair.
Even if I give you that, which I think you're really selling them short. I do. But just to embrace the other side for a moment. If Sal's right, I don't think he is, doesn't that at least, like, think about the upside? What other teams? I want to frame it differently. If you're not buying the Jets yet.
Is Rodgers coming back?
Well, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
We're going to get to him. He's throwing. He might, actually.
I name you these teams. You're a big point differential guy.
Go ahead.
Where do you think the Jets rank in the point differential?
The Jets are about -6 or 7 right now, I believe it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Okay.
7, 8 teams in the AFC
Yeah.
with a better plus-minus differential.
No, I get that, but I also think that the circumstances matter. Like, again, the Jets have played, when you look at points per game allowed, the Chiefs are number 2 in the NFL. The Bills are number 3. Dallas is number 7. That's part of the reason why the Jets haven't scored a lot of points. Plus, they've got to clean a few things up. I'm going to give you that. Clean a few things up as well. And the Eagles, who at one point were a top 10 team, were undefeated. So I get it. We could do this dance until the cows come home. Here's the beautiful thing. I don't need anybody's approval.
Right.
I have seen this from a mile away, and the Jets are a playoff team. And to me, I'm not placing limits on their ceiling.
Now,
go time.
Now, for the Giants, they did what you expected them to do last night. They were more competitive. Now, even with that, I mean, they lost the game, and it's frustrating to lose the way that they did. But the one thing that jumped out to me, BT, and I have been saying, I didn't think last night, but I thought that this team would get back to respectability.
You said that.
And I feel much better about that now after watching that performance last night. However, I think the biggest reason that they were, aside from the coaching, which Wink did a great job, I called him out, to me, Tyrod Taylor's been better than Daniel Jones. He was throwing. How come Tyrod Taylor can throw the football down the field, but Daniel Jones can't? Same offensive line. Tyrod Taylor's floating balls in there, dropping dimes to Darius Slayton, throwing the ball all over the field. Waller gets involved. Wan'Dale Robinson. Tyrod Taylor is better than Daniel Jones right now.
Okay, first of all, the Giants got absolutely bent over last night.
You think so?
Absolutely.
But dude,
Don't tell me you can't call 2 defensive penalties in a row. Darren Waller was, I mean, honestly, if there was a cop somewhere, you would have been giving out misdemeanor tickets for accosting somebody. I mean, he was absolutely abused.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, how many chances are you going to give him down there?
Well, how many chances are you going to give him when the opponent does something wrong? I get it. Listen,
there's you can call that on every play.
Not like that. He grabbed them from the moment Waller left the line of scrimmage. Like he had his jersey the second time. Absolute penalty. Giants got screwed. I understand what happened.
They screwed themselves in the first half, which is unacceptable.
I know. Up 6-zip with 14 ticks to go. You can't audible into a run and not get in there, and then obviously not get up to the line of scrimmage. I get it.
Real quick on that, because we saw this with the Jets, where Saleh screwed it up.
Yeah.
Because he didn't call a timeout. He called the timeout at the wrong time. And Dable last night, forget about audibling with Tyrod Taylor, audibling to a run, which just doesn't make any sense. Why would you not spike the ball? You get the first down, get your ass to the line, spike it then. Don't run another play. Like, spike the ball then you reset and save that timeout for the last second when you're going to need it.
You're 100% right.
God, I don't understand it.
That's why it bothers me. I mean, I get it. And again, we've talked about Dable's aggressive antics in terms of how he deals with some players, which you and I love because that's kind of our personality, and it's all good. It's a throwback, methodology, which we both embrace. But, I mean, show Tyrod Taylor an ounce of respect, dude. I mean, he's walking. I know Tyrod Taylor colossally messed up there, but I think the coach got to wear that and own that a little bit more to just berate him and light him up. I mean, in full public view. Do it in the tunnels,
I think
Dable.
it's more on Dable.
It's a bad look, dude.
I think it's more on Dable. But the point is, the Giants finally looked like the Giants of last year, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened with a different quarterback.
I don't either. He processes things quicker. Now, are you saying, I want to make sure, because I do agree they looked far more functional with Taylor than with Jones. You saying that if he's right against the Commanders, that you tried out Tyrod Taylor?
I'm saying.
I'm not averse to it, by the way. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but boy, that is a deep conversation with real long-lasting ramifications for the Giants if they do that. You doing it?
No, you probably can't do that. But ask me this. Who do I think gives them a better chance to win the next football game against Washington? It's Tyrod Taylor. It's not even close.
Yeah, he's always been solid, man. I mean, I've always liked Tyrod. 60-something touchdowns, 20-something picks, started a lot of games. Best backup in football for sure.
But it's less even about him and more of an addendum of Daniel Jones, right? Like,
well,
that's what to me it's about, because Tyrod's good. He's a very good backup.
Sure.
It's not, especially at this point in his career, he's a veteran backup. But I think it's more about Jones, that he's been awful.
I just want to see Jones with Barkley because we
Yeah.
did see Jones with Barkley a year ago, and Jones was the best he's ever been.
By the way, Barkley, a beast. Total beast. You could
Tough
see
as
it.
nails, man. Finally got going, cranked down some long runs. I know the Giant fans don't want to hear this, but because you're 1-5, and unlike the AFC, which obviously helps the Jets, the NFC is far less jumbled, and they're going to have to. As a matter of fact, right now, there's only one team in the entire conference that has a worse record than the Giants. That is 0-6 Carolina. A couple
Right.
teams have one win, but
Arizona 1-5, and the Giants beat them.
yeah, the Bears, I believe,
Yeah,
have
well,
one
they
win, and I
stink.
think there might be one more. So, I mean, if you win last night, it would have galvanized Giant fans, God, so much. And then he could start maybe getting on that Sal train of, well, if you
Yeah.
beat the Commanders
Well,
and maybe you beat the
But
Jets.
you still could get there because you know
At
you talk
1-5?
Well, because you talk about the gauntlet of a schedule. I mean, dude, they've played Miami, they've played Buffalo here now, they've
Yeah.
played the Niners, they've played the Cowboys. Like, and I'm not trying to make excuses. They've been awful.
Yeah.
But I do think the next 3 games coming up for the Giants are all winnable games. And you just said it yourself in the open here. I know we're talking about Jets and Giants. All of a sudden, that Giant game doesn't look like a layup anymore for the Jets.
They looked, no, it doesn't.
I mean,
And I still think the Jets, first of all, the Jets better win, and the Jets should win. But I think it was a pick 'em. I think I saw somewhere last night it's a pick 'em.
They already have that line up.
Yeah, which is odd because the Giants have to play next week. The Jets have a bye. But
And
no,
no
they
Daniel
come up
Jones.
with some lines too.
How would we even know?
Yeah, it's a
early
pick 'em.
one? Okay.
Listen, you're right.
Look, Washington at home next week. And I know Washington won yesterday, but Atlanta's not very good. Like, Washington's there. If the Giants play the way they played last night, they'll beat Washington.
Kind
they
of
can
a
beat
coin
Washington.
flip. I mean, listen, the Giants, here's what the Giants need to at least dispel. The Giants before last night didn't even seem remotely interested or capable in playing competitive football. So I know it's a starting point, and again, you can't cash in a moral win. And I know Giant fans certainly not looking petty for the Jet guy who was saying the Jets could go to the Super
Right.
Bowl, but the Giants showed a lot of stones last night, man. They did.
I know.
I didn't know which way this season was going. I think they stabilized a little bit.
I know that the players and coaches want to win, but if you're a Giant fan right now, any thought of, hey, we're not going anywhere anyway. We're still in the middle of a rebuild here or the beginning of a rebuild. Trade off the players and prefer losing as opposed
Not
to
yet. If they lose to the Commanders, I'd do it.
Okay.
If you're 1-6, I would embrace that. If you're
I know you don't want to win the
2-5,
Jet game anyway.
Yeah, but you can't let that little. It's like winning the Snoopy Bowl at that point. Who
Yeah,
cares?
no,
Like
no.
Rex with all that. That is a conversation that just based on the optics of last night, even in defeat, I think you kind of push that to the side for another week for the Giants to clean
I mean,
house.
they've got about. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they've got about 7 winnable games left. If they play the way they did last night, if they get healthier up front, they can win some games, and maybe in the NFC, you never know. I'm not going to say playoff team, but I do think they're going to stabilize here and win some games coming up. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Brandon Tierney, Sal Licata on the Fan. Your calls, Giants and Jets, next on the other side.